Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something maybe deceptively simple, ordering coffee.
Right, but we're using this language lesson source, not just for the words, but really as a
Yeah.
blueprint for how these goal-focused conversations, these transactions, actually work.
Exactly. It's like looking at the architecture of communication.
And our goal for you, listening, is to see how this everyday thing, ordering coffee, is built. It's a sequence, greetings, asking politely, dealing with options, the context. It all has to fit together just right.
Yeah, without getting overwhelmed.
Precisely.
Mm.
We're breaking down a 10-part lesson that's all about this one environment.
So we're not just learning phrases, we're understanding the hidden structure. Okay, let's start at the beginning. Segment 1, the foundation. Politeness and making the request. It kicks off with that social opening, right? The greeting. The source highlights things like, hello, how are you today?
Yeah, and the replies are pretty standard too. I'm fine, thank you, and
Yeah.
you. Or just, I'm good.
It seems basic, but why start there? Why is that exchange so necessary?
Well, it's more than just manners, isn't it? It's like a little handshake. It confirms both people are ready to interact.
Yeah.
It smooths the way, reduces that initial awkwardness.
A cognitive buffer, you called it earlier?
Exactly. It's prepackaged.
Yeah.
You do the greeting, close that little loop, and boom, you're ready for the actual task.
Which brings us to the core request. The source really hammers home using I'd like. Why that specific phrase, not just I want?
Yeah, this is where it gets interesting linguistically. I'd like using would, it signals something specific. It's polite, obviously, but it frames it as a clear, doable request within that service context.
So it's efficient too, not just nice.
Totally efficient, think about it. I want coffee. Could mean anything. I'd like a cup of coffee, please, tells the barista immediately. Okay, standard request coming up. It cuts down the processing time.
Reduces the guesswork.
Precisely. That phrase, I'd like, it's like the power button for the order. Doesn't matter if it's hot coffee, iced coffee, tea, orange juice, even a bottle of water, please. It just works. It handles all those variations smoothly.
Okay, so the customer makes their request using I'd like. Now we shift, right? It becomes a dialogue. The barista starts asking questions. This is part 3 in the source material.
Yeah, this is crucial. If the first part went well, now the barista needs specific details. And the source points out 2 absolutely essential variables the customer needs to be ready for.
And they're set up as really limited choices, which seems important.
Very important. Keeps things moving fast.
So variable 1, size. The question is, what size would you like?
Mm-hmm.
And the expected answers are just small, please,
Yeah.
medium, please, or large, please. That's it.
Exactly. The constraint is the key. If you started saying, oh, maybe a bit bigger than small, but not quite medium, the whole system breaks down.
Right, haha. No room for negotiation there.
Nope. Rigidity makes it work.
Then variable 2, the logistics. For here or to go.
The ultimate binary choice. Are you staying or leaving?
Again, simple answers. For here, please, or to go, please.
That's it. If you can handle those 2 questions instantly, size and location, you've basically nailed most of the interaction. Mastering those predictable, limited responses is what gets you your coffee quickly.
It turns you from someone just hoping to order into someone who's actually communicating effectively in that specific context. Though, I was thinking, does the source miss anything? Like nowadays, lots of places ask, do you have your own cup? That changes things, doesn't it?
That's a really good point. The framework we're looking at is, let's say, the classic blueprint. It's robust. But you're right, the real world throws in variation.
Context matters.
Absolutely. So while size and location are almost always there, you might get that third context-specific question, like the reusable cup one. Fluency means being able to adapt and slot that new variable in.
Okay, so we've got the drink, the size, the location. What else is needed? The transaction isn't quite finished. We need the surrounding context.
Right, we move into the support structure. This is where things like numbers and basic object names come in. Part 4 in the source talks about numbers and prices.
Yeah, you obviously need to understand the price. The examples are like, that's $5 or it's $3.50.
And you don't need complex math, but you have to be able to hear and recognize those basic numbers and the currency words. Otherwise, you get stuck right at the payment.
It's like a lubricant for the final step.
Exactly. And that idea extends to the other vocabulary, too, like the common objects and food items mentioned in parts 6 and 7.
Things like cup, mug, table, chair, sandwich, cake, cookie.
You don't need to memorize a dictionary, but knowing napkin if you spill or spoon, or maybe asking for a sandwich using, can I have a sandwich, please? These help handle little deviations or additions smoothly.
Prevents the conversation from grinding to a halt over something minor.
Precisely. They're tools for when things aren't perfectly linear.
Now, the source also brings up small talk, part 5, defined as, short, friendly chat. The example is Happy Friday and talking about the weekend.
Happy Friday. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. It's almost the weekend.
Is this actually critical? Or is it maybe a bit risky if you're still learning the ropes?
Well, that's a great question. I'd argue it's potentially high risk, actually, especially if your main goal is just completing the transaction successfully.
Because it uses up mental energy?
Exactly. It introduces unpredictable vocabulary, takes focus away from the core sequence, size, location, payment. It's nice, it builds rapport, sure. But if efficiency and avoiding mistakes is your priority,
Stick to the script.
pretty much. Master the essential steps first, then maybe add the optional social extras later. Prioritize.
Okay, segment 4. Let's put it all together. Synthesis. How these pieces actually flow in a real exchange.
Yes, because the real magic isn't just knowing the phrases, it's the order they happen in. The sequence is everything. Let's look at the practice dialogue in the source, part 8. Right, it shows the back and forth. So it starts with the barista asking for the order, something like, "What can I get for you?"
Standard opening.
Then the customer responds, crucially, with size and drink together. "I'd like a medium coffee, please." Why size right away?
Because everything else hinges on it. The cup they grab, the price, potentially how much milk or sugar space there is. You need to lock down the physical container first.
Size is the frame.
Exactly. You can't detail the picture before you have the frame.
Makes sense. Okay, next, the barista confirms logistics. "For here or to go," customer says. "To go, please." Step 2, locked in.
Right. Core product, size, environment, check, check, check. Then you move to customization.
The barista asks about milk and sugar. Customer: "Yes, milk please, no sugar."
Notice this comes after size and location. Asking earlier would be inefficient. How much milk? Price difference.
Yeah.
Depends on the size.
It's all a chain reaction. Each answer determines the next logical question.
Perfectly put. It's a decision tree. And the source emphasizes practicing this flow, part 9. That's how you get fluent in this specific task.
Not by knowing a million words, but by mastering this one predictable sequence.
It cuts down the mental load massively. You only need to think about the few possible things you might say or hear at that exact point in the sequence.
It's like a cheat code for communication in that setting.
It really is. Know the flow, know what's next.
And that structure, that practice, gives you the confidence to actually go and do it.
So wrapping up, we've really taken apart the structure of ordering a coffee. And for you listening, the key takeaway isn't just the words, but those 8 functional steps, right? Part 10 in the source, list them out.
Let's recap them. Greetings.
Ordering the drink itself using "I'd like,"
Specifying the size.
confirming location for here to go,
Understanding numbers and money for payment.
handling the days of the week for that potential small talk,
Knowing some basic common objects.
and maybe ordering food. Those 8 building blocks.
That list is a great checklist, actually.
Definitely. And the underlying advice from the source, it's
Okay.
simple. Speak slowly, repeat words often, and practice every day. Master the sequence.
That structured practice builds the confidence, doesn't it? Knowing what to expect.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've seen the blueprint for the coffee shop. The source even suggests, giving it a try in English next time you're out. But let's push that idea a bit further. Think about applying the structural analysis elsewhere. If you took the same model greeting, limited variables, specific sequence, nailing down the core request before customization, and applied it to another common interaction, say buying a train ticket or maybe checking out at the supermarket, what would those essential non-negotiable steps be?
Interesting.
What's the mandatory sequence you'd have to master to make that transaction smooth? What questions must follow? What answers? What stands out to you there? Something to think about.